It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B. Ronald on this fabulous Friday, checking in for Marsh and joining me on Friday, as you've been used to seeing him for a while. Trick Blaze, what's up, man? Good to have you here with me.
B Ryan, what's going on, good brother? How are you feeling on this Friday?
I'm feeling
It doesn't
fantastic.
matter how you feeling on this Friday. Let's start the show.
Let's start the show, man. Let's do it. One of the most historic rivalries in basketball renewed itself last night as the Lakers and Celtics played a basketball game last night, and the Lakers ended up coming out victorious in that one, 117-96 for that one. Anthony Davis and Austin Reeves ended up getting the job done, leading the way. Victory for the Lakers in this one. Lakers and Celtics both in first place in their respective conferences, divisions. What did you take away from this game overall, though, Rick?
Nothing. Another game. The Celtics are in second place in their division. Lakers are like fifth place. It's a game. It's a regular season game. The Lakers needed the win, right? You want to stack these wins if you're the Lakers because you're the team that's the Celtics are the champs. So they know what they're doing. It's going to be nights that they're going to get dubs, nights that they're not. You're going to get everybody's best efforts. The Lakers are trying to position themselves for the second half of basketball. It's just a game. The rivalry is, it's not even, is it really a rivalry? The camaraderie between the Lakers and Celtics goes back years, many, 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 many years. The rivalry is not quite what it used to be back in the Magic Bird days, obviously, but it's still fun to see two historic teams play against each other. But it's just a game. It was just a game.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that. I think that regular season is always tough. I think for people, but that's how we get to another day. Uh, for me, one of the things that I noticed looking at the box score and other notes after the game was that LeBron James did pass Hakeem Olajuwon in seventh place for defensive rebounds in history. He's
That is
got
wild.
he's got
Hold on.
9,720.
Hold on, B Run. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me understand this straight.
Yes.
The guy who can't shoot is the all-time leading scorer in points.
No, no,
The the
no.
the
Oh, go ahead,
the
go ahead, go ahead.
guy
Finish your thought.
who plays small forward is now top 10 all time in rebounds. He's top 10 all time in assists. And people have the audacity to perch their lips to say that this man is not the greatest of all time. Then sucker, who is? Like the guy who's not a shooting guard is all time in points. The guy who's not a power forward or center, he's probably a power forward now, is top 10 in rebounds, top 10 in assists, all time. It's so
Mhm.
sad that we live in a moment where we can't enjoy the moment and the greatness that is LeBron James. But I'm sorry. I didn't even notice that until you just told me. I'm sorry. He's the greatest. And anybody who thinks otherwise is foolish.
I'm right there with you, Rick. I think that there's, especially with pro basketball in particular, because of the conversations around, rings and championships and guys being injured, not playing and all that stuff, I think you lose these moments and the appreciation for the players who make these kinds of moments. And LeBron's been around for a long time. What, 20 years? Something like that in the league? And these are the kind of things that you're gonna look back on and appreciate it once he's gone. But in the moment, it's LeBron is you're gonna have like you said, conversation about LeBron not being the GOAT or one of the GOATs, whatever you want to say. Yeah. So that's my big takeaway from it was that impressive stat right there. That I didn't know it until I was like, oh, that's interesting. So yeah, this little fact of the day for that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So more
Congratulations to
basketball.
LeBron again.
Yes, exactly. More basketball on the table. Last night in the college ranks, SimWorld U, we had a triple header of games. Marquette and Villanova. We had the Red River rivalry. Texas and Oklahoma, and USC and UCLA last night. There was a lot of great basketball last night in these broadcasted games on ESPN, Rick. I want to talk about the first one, Marquette and Villanova. The two freshmen on either side, Alex Rodriguez and Justin Bell, went head to head in this one. Justin Bell fouled out late in the game. Nova able to still win, though, 86-79 in that one. This was a really, really fun game, Rick.
Yeah, it was an exciting game, right? And we talk about it all the time. We've been talking about it leading up to this moment. This conference play, interconference basketball is where it's at. This is where you get the bang for your buck. This is what everybody wants to see. Two highly touted freshmen coming into SimWorld U, Justin Bell and Alex Rodriguez, respectively, and they both did what they supposed to have done. To me, Justin Bell is one of the best scorers in all of SimWorld U. Even as a freshman, he's just a pure scorer. Fouled out, but Villanova definitely got the job done. Villanova's on the rise. Villanova, they was on an extension, and it was a very big game. All games are important in this conference play. And so Villanova goes up 1-0 in their conference, which is important when we talk about the final rankings, final standings, and this Hoopsteria standings as well. Congrats to Villanova on the win.
Yeah, Villanova wins their 13th in a row as well, which is an insane amount of wins to have for any team in a stretch of games like Villanova's had. But they have the advantage of a long homestand. I've been talking about that for a while now. Texas, though, the number 5 Longhorns ended up beating Oklahoma 80-72 in that one. And I think Oklahoma, they had some spots where they looked better than we last saw them, but at the same time, it still looked like the same old Oklahoma team that, stumbled late and weren't really aggressive towards the end of the game when they needed to be more aggressive towards the end of the game.
Yeah, Oklahoma they had their chances. They stuck with UT for most of the game. UT kind of pulled it away late, but they definitely had their chances to do so. They were unable to close the door. UT got the dub, and you see here on the highlight reel the USC versus UCLA. Similar situation. USC hung around for a little while, and then UCLA, it was too much snow in LA, right? It was just snowing all over LA between Jalen Snow and Tyson. No, not Chandler. What's his name? Chandler? Franklin Tyson. Yeah, I would call him Tyson Chandler. Franklin Tyson was a menace in the paint. Again, this is the action that we've all been waiting for, and we're glad it's here. I'm here for it.
So yeah, he looked a little like Tyson Chandler defensively. 10 blocks.
He does. He do look like Tyson. Yeah. You kind of favor him too. Light skin. They might need to get a DNA test done out there in these streets.
Yeah, 10 blocks for Franklin Tyson in the UCLA game. Blaine Key led the way with 19 points. But you mentioned Jalen Snow. His usual thing, 7 for 16 from the field, 17 points, 3 assists, led team high in assists as well. I think one of the things I'm looking at the stats for UCLA was that a lot of their guys got involved in a majority of ways in the game. And I think that when you talk about a team win, this is one of those situations where sure, they only scored 28 points in the second half, Rick, but this is a team that they said this was up in the first half with the 55. And they kind of, I don't say coasted the rest of the way through. That's not what I'm saying. But they played good team basketball all throughout the game. You had 4 guys in double figures for points. You had 2 guys with 9 rebounds. Franklin with 10. Franklin had Tyson 10 blocks. So this was a really good team win for UCLA, and they're still my pick to win the Pac-12. That hasn't changed.
That's not a bad pick. I think the Pac-12 is one of those conferences that's wide open. I mean, wide open. There's USC played good defense second half. They couldn't get it done. But there's some people in Arizona looked strong last night in the Pac-12. So I think the Pac-12 is wide open. I like Jalen Snow probably is the best scorer in the Pac-12 out of all the teams. But I'm not going to crown them just yet, but they're up there. They have a good shot. I'm not going to crown them just yet, but they have a good shot.
I understand. Look, they were my preseason pick. I'm rocking with them still till
You got
the
to
end.
stick with it. I
And
understand that. Stick with
yep,
your guns.
exactly. All right. So look, with all that going on, there's still the talk of. I guess it's never too early really to talk about awards, that kind of thing, in college basketball. And let's do it a little bit, Rick. Let's see how this goes. So, look, you got your player of the year you got your Cooper Flag in that conversation. You talk about a freshman player of the year. Maybe somebody like Benari James gets that nod, perhaps. Or again, a guy like Justin Bell, Rodriguez, depending on how it all shakes out, obviously. And then maybe for your defensive player of the year, maybe a guy like Derek Long from Houston. He's still doing his thing, blocking the shots from every which way, every angle, no matter. He's getting them however he does. So, what are your thoughts on early award conversation, Rick, around SimWorld U?
Hey, I think we're going with just player of the year. A good person to bank on is Lamarian Sherwood, who's having a fantastic year. Um, I don't think he's the number one pick in the draft, but that's separate from being the player of the year. If you talk about the college basketball player of the year, it's hard to find a person more deserving of that so far than Lamarian Sherwood. You're talking about freshman player of the year. I mean, you got to go Cooper Flag. He is a freshman. I know he doesn't play like a freshman. I know people act like he's not a freshman, but he's still a freshman. He is the freshman player of the year, offensive player of the year, for sure, hands down. If you talk about defensive player of the year, I'm with you with Derrick Long. That's a really good pick. You could go several other ways with defensive player of the year, but Derrick Long, I'm not mad at that. If I'm thinking about freshman defensive player of the year, now it gets interesting. There are several options to choose from. Um, yeah, there's 4 or 5 guys that's like, that could probably win that one. Um, that
Isaiah
one's
James,
more of a
perhaps?
toss up. Huh?
Isaiah James, perhaps?
Isaiah James is a good one. The big fella from Georgetown, his name escapes me right now, is a good option. There's several freshmen who's really, really played well defensively. And Bernard James, if not for Cooper Flag, Bernard James is probably the offensive player of the year for freshmen, right? If not for
Yeah.
Cooper Flag.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as Cooper Flag is still considered a freshman, then yeah, he got that on lock.
Yeah,
Clock.
I think that, like you said, the overall player of the year award, I think that would have to go to Lamarian Sherwood, especially given the fact that I don't think anybody really expected Iowa to be what they are this season,
Thanks.
and Sherwood's. I was one of them. I was like, I don't know, I'm not sure about Iowa. So prove me wrong on that one, and they did. I think a lot of the picks that you had are spot on in terms of that in terms of who could win it. So there's still plenty of time for things to get figured out, though, of course, and it'll be interesting to really see what kind of awards do get handed out, because I'm just kind of spitballing names and that kind of stuff here for what kind of awards get handed out. We're not sure what they're actually going to be yet, of course. But once we know
Yeah,
the information, and
it's
once
early.
we it's early.
It's early, and like a lot of times we've seen in college basketball, once you get down to conference play, and then once you get down to the hoopsteria, a lot of magic and a lot of careers are made in this hoopsteria, right? When you think about
Sure.
Valparaiso and Bryce Drew, who, in my opinion, got drafted off of what he did in hoopsteria, right? When you think about Steph Curry and the run a lot of players that you like, they were good, but then when you see them on the grandest of scales, you're like, oh, wait a minute, and it kind of catapults them and puts them to the
Yeah.
conversation. So there's some people that we're leaving out now that's going to join the conversation as we get into hoopsteria. That you like, wait a minute, let me check this guy out because he shines the brightest when the lights are the biggest.
Right, exactly. Then you go back and look at the old games, and you see, oh, hey, they were actually doing this all season, and I just didn't notice it. Didn't notice it. Well, look, let's wrap up the games from last night, shall we? Because there were a bunch of games to go through. Let's go through them, shall we? And wrap this thing on up. Starting with Maxim Bynum and Dayton. Maxim Bynum dominates that game, going 12-6 in the first half, 14-4 in the second half, as the Flyers dropped Kansas State 75-66 in that one. Seton Hall comes out motivated and ready to play, dropping Xavier and making a statement perhaps with a 82-61 win. Raheem Danger leads the way for Seton Hall, 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in the win for Seton Hall over the Musketeers. Iowa State lives up to their moniker despite Collins State blitz over Oklahoma State 80-71. Despite the Cowboys' best effort to try and come back in the second half, Kirby Ordway times a 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals. Look at that cheat. Baylor and Texas Tech takes out the Bears in a huge blowout, 82-45. Red Raider also was hot all game, shooting 50% from the 4 players in double figures. Kansas, number 16 Kansas, holds off OTC Charlotte for 8 minutes in the second half and win against the Horned Frogs, 72-55. Madison off the third got called for a flagrant on Creed Gibson in the second half. Oregon completes second half comeback, taking down the Utah Utes 83-75. Ducks play complete second half to score 52 points while holding the Utes just 29. Next one up here, same story in California too. The Colorado can't overcome the Bears, 73-69. Jason Tada was one of 4 Golden Bear players in double figures. Washington State starts on a 16-0 run, and they force 11 first half turnovers as well, beating Washington the first meeting for the Apple Cup of the season, 77-61. And then Corey Yam scores all 18 of his points in the second half as Arizona wins over Stanford, 78-67, setting the tone for their conference play. Lou Erickson was the leading scorer for the Wildcats with 19 points in the win. Final thoughts, Rick, on the Friday before we get out of here?
Hey, man, make sure you guys hit the like button, the share button in the content. More games to come. Don't miss out. Don't slouch. And even on Saturday, we got prep ball. We got tournaments. We got a lot going on. Tune in for all SWTV shows and pods. My God.
Yeah, exactly. And there is a 6:30 game tonight as well, Rick. That is Butler and UConn playing at 6:30. Me and Cyber J will be on the call for that one, so I gotta get on a flight and go over to Stores for that game. So look, we'll see you back here on Monday for more SimWorld Today. Mark's be back for that one. Remember, you guys, like Rick said, like and share all the content around wherever you find it. And of course, SimWorld's the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you on Monday.
This has been a presentation of SimWorld